Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Alright, guys, I am exhausted. I just did some readings and things and been shifting other stuff in my life. Like, I drove for Uber last night for the second time after taking like a 4-year break. And it was chaotic because it was Friday night. There's a lot of drunk people. But even in like the 3D world, right? There's a lot of weird spiritual stuff that happens to me and a lot of stuff I was seeing. Like the sky became bright and had like this white glow, and even the guy that was like really out of it was like, look at this guy. He was definitely crazy. And he was very uncomfortable ride because he was very pushy and stuff. He's like, look at me, shoving his phone in my face. He started talking about Yeshua and Israel not being real, and the government, and my sister who passed away, and just so many weird things. But the reading that I did tonight, there was another person that has been going through stuff that I've gone through, and I know a lot of us go through these things. Not maybe everybody will be able to understand, but there's been a lot of shifting going on for a long time. And I was telling this problem, like, I feel bad because of the people who are like going through some of the things that I went through before. I feel like they're going through it more intense at this time because the energies have increased so much since when I had my awakening 2011, and I went on this big spiral, and I still go through the spiral. Like, we're always spiraling up and down. There's good days, there's bad days, there's good experiences, there's bad experiences, and all of it is to be felt and all of it is to be experienced. But there's also a lot of fear agendas on this planet, in the energies around us, and it sucks people in. But the main thing that sucks people in is their belief systems, usually, where it's like they take on something that's not there for them to take on. We at the end of the day are sovereign, powerful beings that we can determine what we give and receive. And if we don't like what we're receiving, we got to be mindful of what we're giving, because we're the creator. So if we're focused on like, this is going to be bad and this is negative thing is happening and I'm doomed, and everything I do gets bad, and like this didn't work out, so that's not going to work out, it spirals down into a really bad place. And you got to speak a new truth. You've got to take a new authentic power over your voice and over your words, and what you see and what you read and what you hear from others is impactful. Because even if you hear something and you're not like taking it on and believing it consciously, your subconscious usually accumulates these things. So be careful who you're listening to, what you're looking at, what's coming in, whether you're conscious or unconscious of it. Try to be more mindful of that so you can stay in your power, because I feel like a lot of people have been targeted because you're light workers, you're healers, you're shamans, you're seers, you hold a bright light, so the darkness is drawn to that, and it can be very, very detrimental to you, to your inner child, to the things that you would like to have, things that you want to reconcile with. And think about when you were in a more pure state, or when you hadn't gone through all the bad stuff, so you don't have all the fears of more bad stuff. And 333 just went by as I was saying that. Like, try to go back and make a judgment call to tap back into that there is infinite possibilities. But when we're afraid of the possibilities that are negative possibilities, a lot of times we attract those possibilities to us because we're afraid of them, and we're looking at them and we're thinking of them and we're feeding them. But we can also rise out of the dark, and we can be the star of the show. We can have the light in our lives, and we can illuminate and have all of our wishes come true, whatever that wish is. But you can't believe the opposite of it. You can't be anxiously like thinking all of the things that go along with anxiety and sleepless nights. And that's another thing I've seen within the spiritual community. When people go through spiritual awakening, it impacts them physically too. So sometimes they get wrapped up into anxiety, and then they don't sleep, and then their mental is getting even more influenced because they're in a physical body that needs to rest. And I've been there. I'm exhausted right now, but I'm also trying to do the things I know I need to do to rise up out of that, and to stay committed and not slip down into that, and also help others to not slip down into that 444, and to be mindful of where we're putting our energy and our focus, and work together. I literally just saw a thing. It was a woman that, when she was talking about, how they say women live longer than men. It's because they did a study, and it's like women have this hormone that men don't have, and it's about caring and being compassionate, loving women, right? And they say when something goes bad, when there's a disaster or whatever, women are like, call her, and the women that come together in a community, work together, and are there for each other in those times live longer. And there was a study that put into this is like the more women that come together for the more amount of time to like support each other, the longer they live. If you're secluded, which I know, going on an awakening journey, going on the twin flame journey, it can be very hurtful to you because it is segregated. It's like nobody understands this. I'm not going to tell anybody about this. So you're in your own mind spiraling, and that can be hurtful. And I know it's difficult to find people who understand or care or whatever, but there are people out there. So if you're in a broken heart, or you had your heart broken, and your value tested and your sadness brought up, don't get caught into the illusion of thinking like you're not worthy of love, or that there's nobody out there that will get you. Because we're out here. We get you, all right? Like, if you find videos that resonate and make sense to you, then there's people who get it. But be very discerning with what you allow yourself to get wrapped into from the result of that, because there are people out there who will take you as a fool and get you sucked into believing these really negative outcomes. Like I see a lot of things around the AI agendas where the people who are focused on the fear of that creation are going to be the ones that live in the result of that experience, because they're feeding so much fear into it. They're already experiencing the results of something that hasn't even happened yet, or that they're not even consciously like 100%, like there's no proof, like people think that AI is going to destroy us, or that it's going to like do something bad, which it could, but only in the hands of those who want to hurt, or only in the eyes of those who believe it can destroy everything, because it can't. The only thing that can destroy everything is ourselves, if we believe that something's going to destroy everything, or that like we're going to be the end result of that. The shamans literally spend their whole lives navigating how they're going to go into the afterlife, because and they want to be as aware as it as possible, so they don't get sucked into the reincarnation trap, so they don't get sucked into these false ideas, and so that they remember that they are the conscious creator, that they are great spirit, that they are everything, that they are not separate from anything, that they're never alone, and they are the one that determines where they go. That thing's dinging again. It's the fan isn't on, so whenever that dings when the fan isn't on, I'm like, okay, like that they're confirming, and it's you get to be the one that thinks the thoughts, speaks the words, feels the feels, click. That's going to help you to get to a new start, emotional beginning, uplifting. You're the one that makes these decisions on if you're going to go into the troubled waters or you're going to move out of the troubled waters. And it is really very simple. It gets complicated here because of all the layers of everything and because of all these conflicting beliefs of everything. But don't give your power away to anybody or anything, and don't write yourself off. With the King of Cups here, it's like you deserve love, you deserve peace, you deserve all those things. But if you don't feel like you are receiving those things, or you're not opening yourself up to have those things, then it is very easy to get slipped down into the darkness and into the depression, into the despair, and into these timelines where we're just headed to destruction. There's other people out there who are using AI for good. I've used AI things that I'm like, oh my God, this is life-changing. This is amazing. Like, this is what I needed to help me with these things. And it has helped me with those things. But I can see where we could have a fear around where it could go. But again, we're the ones that tell it what to do. And if you don't tell it the right prompt, it doesn't do it. It doesn't know how to compute. It doesn't do it. You got to write it differently. And you're the one that determines the prompt that goes into your life. Think of the world as your computer or as your creation, because that's all that it is. But you don't get wrapped into the illusions that keep you from having a passionate, exciting time. Don't let your fears, destroy your reality. Become the magician and transmute the things that are causing you, imbalance or sadness or darkness or fear. Make a decision to go down the path that's going to bring you to justice, and just know that things are shifting all the time. Things are good. Love is on its way. Believe that so that it can manifest. If you're sitting in there sad, like, no, I'm never going to have this, I'm so silly, I made a mistake, bop-a-da-boop, you'll stay there. But if you're like, love is on its way, I'm gonna receive, I'm gonna give this love to myself, I'm gonna believe these new things, I'm gonna receive those things, and I'm gonna receive that love, and I don't have to be sad, I don't have to be alone, but I gotta make action in the way that I'm speaking and thinking. So hopefully this will support you guys. Some of the other things that came up in the reading that I did was for you know, figuring out like their business and like putting themselves online and how to grow online and like figuring out their niche and things like that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and put that type of stuff on the Bridget. I made a Bridget Rao channel. I'm going to start that from scratch and just do business stuff over there. Here is going to be like the pick of cards and like the soul messages, the tarot messages, things of that nature. And then the Divine Essentials channel is like the starseed, shamanic healing, like meditations, all of that. Okay? So hopefully this will support you in Munay. Oh, and I do have readings available on my website. Etsy has a sale for a couple more days left, and there's a bunch of crystals on there, a bunch more coming. And yeah, in Munay. Namaste.